You stand ankle-deep in cold mud by the Sajó, April 11th, 1241, before sunrise, when horns press through fog. Bridge is secure, you say. Secure? A captain answers. Count again. Bela wrote 60,000 last autumn. I see 15,000 in this host. You glance at the camp ledger tied to the feudal levy, wax cracked, numbers smudged. Golden bull binds the nobles, someone mutters. 40 days' service. No more. A scout runs past, clutching a sealed order. Eastern banks quiet, you hear. Too quiet. Wood groans somewhere ahead. Hold until matins, the captain says. The bells, you ask. Silent. You grip your shield, the rim stamped with your county tax mark, proof you paid in grain and coin. The river slaps timber. Who stands watch, you ask. Ask the Cumans, comes the reply. Fog thins. Torches fail to answer across the water. Do you hear wheels? You say. No, the captain answers. Only wait. You listen, and the bridge answers softly. You walk between tents marked with county crests, canvas snapping in the wind along the Sajó. A clerk from the royal chancery stands on a crate, parchment unrolled. Census of 1240 you hear. Near 2 million souls under Bela. Souls don't swing swords, a noble answers, tapping his hilt. The clerk continues, Cumans admitted in 1239 under royal protection, driven west after the steppe burned. Protection? Another voice says, or trouble brought inside our fences? You pass a cart where grain sacks are stacked, a parchment is pinned to the wood, county levy tallies, the Ispen's steward tells you. Short by a third since winter. Then stretch it, you say. Can't stretch wheat, he replies. Near the cook fires, a magnate argues quietly. The diet at Pest swore under the golden bull of 1222. Swore, yes, comes the answer. But half arrived late, and fewer brought the 40 days owed. Steel rings as someone tests a blade. A priest steps close to you. Scouts say Mongol Tumans crossed the Carpathians in March 1241. How many, you ask. Enough. You look across the camp. Banners are many. Ranks feel thin. You crouch beside a cook fire where a miller from Estergom counts flour into a wooden bowl. 2 measures per man, you say. 2, he answers, leveling the scoop. The parish took its tithe before winter ended. 1 sheaf in 10. We came light. He knots the sack and wipes his hands. You'll plant late, you tell him. If we plant at all. A blacksmith sits nearby, oiling rivets with a rag darkened by soot. He lifts a helm and taps its rim. Stamped in Buda last year, he says. Market dues paid proper under the king's toll rights along the Danube. I traded iron downriver. Plowshares? You ask. Plowshares, he nods. This week, armor. He sets the helm in your hands. It feels heavier than grain. A boy stands with a wax tablet, stylus scratching. Read, you tell him. 3 from Skesferver, he says. 2 from the marsh farms. 1 miller's son. Pressed? You ask. Feudal obligation, he answers, as if naming goods at market. Smoke hangs low across the camp. Someone laughs too loudly near the wagons. You miss the river? You ask the blacksmith. I miss counting coin, he says. Now I count straps. The miller ties another ration. 2 measures, he repeats. You hold the bowl steady while the horns wait somewhere beyond the fog. You stand near the outer pickets when a rider pushes through, saddlecloth torn, mud stiff on the hem. From Transylvania, you say. March 1241, he answers, pointing to the stitched date. At Muhi they built bridges in a night. Built? A guard asks. Timber and rope. Feigned retreat by dusk. An older knight spits into the grass. Cumans were blamed for the first raids. They rode under our king, you reply. Caten rode, the knight says. Killed in Pest, this year after riots. Alliance shattered before it settled. The rider loosens his reins. I saw smoke past the passes. A parchment moves between hands, seal broken. Royal command, a captain reads softly. Scouts counted multiple Tumans. How many, you ask. Perhaps 20,000 under Subutai, he says. Perhaps, the knight repeats. You listen to the horses breathe. Did you see banners? You ask the rider. I saw movement, he answers. columns where no road runs. A sentry tightens his grip on a spear. We hold the bridge, the captain says. For how long, you ask? He folds the parchment once. Until orders change, wind drifts through the reeds. Overnight bridges, the guard murmurs. You watch the eastern dark and measure the quiet. You watch captured arrows laid on a blanket, barbed, light, fletching tight to the shaft. Feel that, a veteran says, placing one in your palm. Composite bow sends it farther than our crossbows. He points to the horses tethered beyond the pickets. Each rider keeps remounts. 3, sometimes 4. They change saddles, not pace. We march 20 miles on a good day, you answer. They do not march, he says. They flow. A clerk kneels beside a seized caravan chest and unfolds a merchant's account stamped with Silk Road tallies. From the east, he murmurs. Reports carried ahead of them. Subutai timed columns across hundreds of miles in 1241. Timed how, you ask? By riders and signal fires, he replies. Merchants speak of it as routine. Someone near the bridge counts on his fingers. 15,000 guard this span, he says. If 40,000, perhaps 60,000, move beyond sight, he stops. Then numbers do not favor stubbornness, the veteran finishes. You turn the arrow in your hand. It is built for distance, not weight. This is not a raid, the clerk says softly. It is a system. Against ours, you answer. Across the river, fog holds its shape while hooves sound faint and unhurried. You move toward the wooden bridge while engineers hammer stakes into the bank. By royal command, one says, breath smoking in the dark. Before dawn prayers, April 11th, 1241, Bela wants the span held. Another adds, driving iron through wet timber. Across the water, shapes flicker and vanish. They withdrew hours ago, a scout tells you. I saw torches pull back. A monk stands near the wagons, clutching a travel ledger bound in cord. I heard axes, he says quietly. Downstream. Through fog. Axes? You ask. As if another crossing rises, he answers. The feudal levy gathers in knots. County banners cluster close, silk damp against poles. Form on the bridge, you call. A noble shakes his head. My men guard our crest. Guard the span, you reply. He looks past you instead. A captain unfolds an order sealed in red wax. Hold the bridge, and we hold Hungary, he reads. Then stand here, you say. He nods, but does not move his banner. Water pushes against the pilings with a dull rhythm. Do you hear that? The monk asks. You listen. Something heavy settles into current, wood against flow. Debris, the scout insists. Or work, you answer. Hammering slows behind you. Keep watch downstream, the captain says. You face the fog where no torches burn and measure the dark differently now. You wake to shouting before sunrise, horns cutting mist as arrows fall in hard sheets across canvas. Up, a knight pulls you by the shoulder. They're inside. Inside where? You ask. Flanks gone. Fires at the wagons, smoke rolls low, horses scream against their tethers. A second bridge, someone yells. Built in the night. Impossible, you say. Subutai crossed before dawn. The knight answers. You grab your shield and stumble toward the standard. Form ranks, a captain shouts. By county. County? Another voice breaks. We never formed. Arrows strike wood with flat thuds. How many, you ask. 60,000, a man pants, or enough to feel it. 15,000 here, the knight says. That's what the ledger held. You see the royal banner tilt, then vanish in smoke. Hold the bridge, a voice calls. Which bridge? You answer. Heat pushes you back as wagons burn. The levy owed 40 days. The captain coughs. It never owed this. Men press toward the river. Water churns under boots. Back, someone cries. You'll drown. You turn and see riders where tents stood moments before. Stand, the knight says, but his grip loosens. Steel rings close, then closer. Where is the king, you ask? Gone west, comes the reply. You taste ash, shields buckle, break through, a voice begs. There is no line left to break. You lower your head and move because standing still means fire or water. Behind you, the camp folds in on itself. You stagger past broken carts and shields pressed into mud. Bela rides west. someone tells you. Toward Austria, you nod and keep walking. A priest kneels beside a parish register, pages damp at the edges. Read them, you say. He traces names with a finger. After April 11th, 1241, nearly half our settlements lie open. Open to what, you ask? Mongol detachments, he answers. Coordinated. Moving outward. A merchant stands nearby clutching a folded tax receipt stamped with last year's royal dues. Who collects now, he asks you. The feudal host is ash. No one today, you say. The parish will try, the priest adds softly. Relief from tithe stores. Against cavalry, the merchant says. Wind moves across the plain without smoke now. You look east where the camp stood and see only trampled earth. Is it finished? You ask. The priest closes the register. The field is. You stand months later near the Sajó, stones scattered where tents once stood. A royal decree dated 1242 passes through your hands. Bela orders stone castles, a scribe says. Revised land grants for foreign settlers. To pay for this, you ask. The treasury adjusts taxes, he replies. Extraordinary levies, counted in silver marks. A mason sets a block into place. Timber failed in a single day at Muhi, he tells you. Stone answers riders with walls. The golden bull of 1222 still binds king and nobles, the scribe adds. You fold the decree. April 11th, 1241 weighs heavier than wax. You look across the fields and measure what remains. Impossible, you say. Subutai cross before dawn, the night answers. You grab your shield and stumble toward the standard. Form ranks, a captain shouts. By county. County? Another voice breaks. We never formed. Arrows strike wood with flat thuds. How many, you ask. 60,000, a man pants. Or enough to feel it, 15,000 here, the knight says. That's what the ledger held. You see the royal banner tilt, then vanish in smoke. Hold the bridge, a voice calls. Which bridge? You answer. Heat pushes you back as wagons burn. The levy owed 40 days. The captain coughs. It never owed this. Men press toward the river. Water churns under boots. Back, someone cries. You'll drown. You turn and see riders where tents stood moments before. Stand, the knight says, but his grip loosens. Steel rings close, then closer. Where is the king, you ask? Gone west, comes the reply. You taste ash, shields buckle, break through, a voice begs. There is no line left to break. You lower your head and move because standing still means fire or water. Behind you, the camp folds in on itself. You stagger past broken carts and shields pressed into mud. Bela rides west, someone tells you. Toward Austria, you nod and keep walking. A priest kneels beside a parish register, pages damp at the edges. Read them, you say. He traces names with a finger. After April 11th, 1241, nearly half our settlements lie open. Open to what, you ask? Mongol detachments, he answers. Coordinated. Moving outward. A merchant stands nearby clutching a folded tax receipt stamped with last year's royal dues. Who collects now, he asks you. The feudal host is ash. No one today, you say. The parish will try, the priest adds softly. Relief from tithe stores. Against cavalry, the merchant says. Wind moves across the plain without smoke now. You look east where the camp stood and see only trampled earth. Is it finished? You ask. The priest closes the register. The field is. You stand months later near the Sajó, stones scattered where tents once stood. A royal decree dated 1242 passes through your hands.